Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another Incursio the Gamer Dungeons & Dragons quick build video. Today we have with us R-Core Heathcliff, also known as R-Core 4th Pack Rabbit Heathcliff. Now, before we get into D&D, let's go to the Limbus ID. R-Core is specialized in mass-producing soldiers, elite mercenaries and all that, you know. R-Core Heathcliff is an ID with pretty much below average stats, unfortunately, as he is a launch ID. However, his speed range is from 3 to 7. 7's not bad, as he can gain haste. Now, skill 1 and 2, of course, he is an ammo ID, so he consumes ammo, but he applies a little bit of bleed and gains a little bit of charge. With his skill 3, however, he inflicts 4 fragile just because he can. Additionally, he inflicts a little bit of rupture and only consumes 2 ammo. Defense, of course, he is an evade ID, but he is just completely overpowered with that skill 3, inflicting fragile, debuffing the enemy, which is what I tried to build around. Now, let's get into the actual build in D&D. He's a male, high elf, fighter 2, bard 4, and for that bard, you're going to take College of Creation. Now, fighter, you don't have a subclass, you're only level 2, but you want it for a specific reason you'll see later. High elf, specifically, so you can get that beautiful elven accuracy. You're going to love it. Now, of course, let us get into our rest of the stats. You have 13 strength, 20 dex, 14 con, intelligence, wisdom are dumb stats. It's not like Heathcliff's the smartest guy on the block. And charisma 17. Remember, you are building a mass-produced soldier. These stats are easily replicatable, as, you know, it isn't that much. You have walking speed 30, AC 18, initiative 5, and HP 48. Immune to magical sleep, advantage against being charmed. Multiple soldiers, lots of guys, easy conditions to fulfill. Saving throws, proficiency in strength and con, 16, 11, 13 for passive senses across the board there, dark vision of course, and here are your proficiencies. Let us go over his skills. Half proficiency because he is bard in most skills, also mass-produced soldier. I love that point. Athletics, insight, intimidation are a very Heathcliff thing to have proficiency in. Perception and survival are a R-Core kind of thing. Soldiers, you know, have survival instinct, if you will. Not really keen on stealth though, as you can see here. Let's get into our actions. Now, of course, as an elf, he does like the short bow and the crossbow, and they are light, of course, here, and light for the short sword, as you can always replace that with a dagger. And yes, you can replace the short bow and crossbow for, say, a firearm, and replace the elf race for a variant human, and change that elven accuracy to the gunner feat. Both options are available. However, I chose this as it is a more traditional D&D build that you can more easily replicate in any world pretty much. Now, you have these attacks, of course. Starry Wisp will go into that during spells. You have your dash, disengage, dodge, grapple, shove, of course, and performance of creation, which you can create an item, which I would personally say can just be more ammo or crossbow bolts, or the helmet that Heathcliff dons when he gains enough charge count in the ID. Now, bonus actions, Bardic Inspiration. Now, yes, you do buff allies. However, with this Bardic Inspiration, you can inspire another creature, and there's another thing because you have College of Creation. We'll go over that on other and limited use. Additionally, Second Wind and Restoration. That can always be flavored as your 5+ charge count. You gain 1 haste and attack power up. It's a small little buff. Bardic Inspiration, I guess, could be his support passive, allowing allies to deal extra pierce damage, but it is what it is. Reactions, you only have opportunity attack. Other. Now, you have action surge, of course, that comes with fighter, and you love that because he can hit a little harder with it. Motive potential allows ability check advantage. It allows attack roll damage up or saving throw, pretty much bonus. Now, of course, you're going to be using it mostly for attack roll in character, but if you want to, you can always buff your allies with that ability check or saving throw. Saving throw preferred. It is the most useful version of this. Limited use, you've seen all of it already. Let's go into the spells. Blade Ward, Starry Wisp, True Strike, Vicious Mockery. Vicious Mockery, of course, is going to be a Heathcliff core thing. Starry Wisp and Blade Ward are sort of mass-produced kind of spells that you can just use, and True Strike is what you're kind of here for. Now, you can do the piercing damage with a gun, or the short bow or crossbow, or you can do radiant damage. Now, this is really useful because if, say, they have a resistance to piercing, this is essentially the fragile effect. You're just going to do your full damage instead. Now, there isn't much that you can do to apply an actual vulnerability in Dungeons & Dragons, as no actual class offers that. However, at a higher level, say 5th level Bard, you could, apply a curse onto the enemy and therefore debuff them a little bit, but we kind of do want that action surge for later times. Now, for first level spells, you have Bane, Color Spray, Fairy Fire, Long Strider, Thunder Wave. Fairy Fire and Color Spray serve the same purpose as pretty much gaining advantage on your attacks, just basically gonna hit harder. Long Strider increase your speed by 10 feet, as you do know our core Heathcliff does have a pretty good speed range of 3 to 7. Thunder Wave, I flavor that as the little bit of charge or rupture that you're going to be using, and Bane is pretty much debuffing the enemy. You love these first level spells as they are going to be your little bits of bread and butter. Additionally, you have Enthrall, which penalty to perception and passive perception, which is nice in general, and lesser restoration, healing an ally of blind, deafen, paralyze, or poison. Now, soldiers can obviously help each other in the R Core. I'm not sure what they do in, say, Lobotomy Corporation, or if they even show up in the library. Library of Runia, of course. Or, yeah, but these are basically your spells, and what you're going to be using for some of the time. What you're going to be using most of the time, of course, is your short sword or dagger, and short bow, crossbow, or firearm. Remember, you can always rebuild him as a variant human with the gunner and to take guns if you want to be, more technologically savvy. Here we go. Now, of course, let us go to our inventory. He has a lot of items. Arrows for his bow, crossbow bolts for his crossbow, hand crossbow because you want that light property. Thank you, whoever last time told me that the light crossbow was not light property, and I had to take hand crossbow. Shout out to you, my goat out there. I'll mention you in the description below. Of course, you're going to have a shield, but you don't really need it. It's just kind of there. You also have your short sword, which can be replaced with a dagger. Now, of the other items, you have, standard survival gear and all that, and maybe a spear if you really need it, but you really don't because you already have enough weapons with R Core. You also have a quiver, doesn't really hold anything at the moment. Features and traits, let's go over the class. Starting off with Fighter. Intimidation is great, and proficiencies, you can of course choose whatever you want. I would personally choose maybe Acrobatics in this case, therefore giving him an extra in Acrobatics, and then Athletics, Insight, etc., etc., etc. Now, I sort of did get rid of the other one, which was made up with pretty much the Bard subclass, but we move forward. Archery, +2 to ranged weapons. Second wind, action surge, that's all you need. Fighter is great for soldiers, pretty much. Additionally, Longhorn survival for Bard. You have Bardic inspiration, which is great, and spellcasting, which is nice because spells are good. Perception survival here. Jack of all trades is great. College of creation, that's where you gain motive potential and performance of creation. Those two things are always nice, but you can always change your Bard subclass if you really need to. I just figured that motive potential was the best thing for our core Heathcliff and fit most in character. Species traits, as a high elf, you have Dark Vision, Keen Sense, Fey Ancestry, Trance, but what you're mostly here for is the ability to gain that feat. Of course, you also have Blade Ward and Infernal. I figured Infernal because you live in the Inferno, in pretty much a universe of Project Moon, if you know what I mean. Feats, from Bard you gain Elven Accuracy, which is kind of your bread and butter, what you're really here for, what you want. You have advantage on all of your attack rolls, pretty much using these weapons. Now, the short sword dagger, you will get that extra bonus, as I believe it does use dexterity. However, firearms and ranged weapons are, really nice because they use dex. I would know because I play a gunslinger in a campaign that I did finish a little while ago. Additionally, Savage Attacker from your background soldier. You can reroll the damage and just deal more damage. Basically, fragile. We love this build. I love our core Heathcliff already. Now, dexterity is what you want to dump everything into. He is a chaotic neutral male with dark purple eyes, medium build, about 5'11", about 140 some odd pounds, about 36 in this ID, with somewhat dark skin and dark brown hair. He believes in the R core this time. Now, of course, you can add whatever personality, ideals, bonds, flaws, appearance, notes, and extras you want. And remember, I only build level 6. You guys build from here. If you guys do want to see me build like an all-out level 20 or something, do mention that in the comments down below. I would be more than happy to do so. Because, who doesn't want to build something really powerful and really cool any day of the week? Alright. That is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please let me know what you want to see in the future. I love making these videos, and I love, reading the comments. It's really nice to have some audience interaction sometimes. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye, and good night.